Hi, everyone, and welcome to the press conference just at the beginning here of the Showdown in St. Louis, a rapid and blitz exhibition match between former world champion and Grandmaster Garry Kasparov and Grandmaster Nigel Short. A big round of applause for our players. So before we begin our press conference and our exciting news that we have today, we have some formalities to perform, which is the drawing of the lots. So the format of the match between Garry and Nigel will be 2 rapid games and 4 blitz games over the next 2 days. All of the action will be covered live on uschesschamps.com. But it's important for the players to know which order they will play with what color, who will start with white and who will finish with white. So in these 2 boxes here, I have some very nice pens from Saks Fifth Avenue. One of them is black and the other one is gold. The player who chooses the black pen will be, they don't make white pens so much. So the player who chooses the black pen will have the black pieces in the first game. The player who chooses the gold pen will have the white pieces in the first game. And Grandmaster Kasparov, if you would do us the honors of picking your poison. Not that one. Okay. Garry chose the gold pen, so he'll have white in game 1. Nigel, just to make sure I'm honest.
Yeah. Looks like a black one.
And a black pen. All right. Standing to my right is a man who probably needs no introduction within the chess circles. Michael Khodarkovsky is the driving force behind the Kasparov Chess Foundation here in the United States through a cooperative effort between the Kasparov Chess Foundation and the Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis. The young stars, the young rising chess players in the country train regularly with Garry and other grandmasters. Michael, all of his hard work certainly has paid off. We've seen a lot of our young juniors like Sam Sevian progress through the ranks and become very talented chess players. And Michael will do us the honors of hosting this press conference and kicking things off. Michael?
Thank you, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be moderator of this special press conference on the announcement of the Grand Chess Tour. And before we will take questions from here and from our worldwide audience online, I would like to introduce those who participated in this press conference. First of all, Rex Sinquefield, founder of Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis. Garry Kasparov, former world champion and greatest ambassador to promote the sport of chess and this Grand Tour. Next to him, Nigel Short, his longtime friend and opponent and challenger for World Championship. Jøran Aulin-Jansson, or we call him JJ, president of Norway Chess Federation, our guest from Oslo. And least but not last, our dearest friend, Malcolm Pein, who is representing London Chess Classic and Chess Promotion Limited from London. I also would like to take opportunity to introduce Maurice Ashley, Grandmaster from the United States, who will be helping us to take lessons from worldwide audience. And right now, I would like to pass the word to Executive Director of Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis, Tony Rich.
You don't know how hard it has been to keep my mouth shut about what I'm about to say. And I'm very excited to tell you that the Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis, in partnership with Norway Chess and the London Chess Classic, are announcing the 2015 Grand Chess Tour. So the Grand Chess Tour is a circuit of tournaments, 3, that will be played throughout the year. Each of the tournaments will have the same prize fund and structure. 9 of the 10 players will be the same across all the events. And in total, the players will be competing for more than $1 million in prize money. $300,000 from each event, plus another $150,000 prize fund for the tour overall. So the Grand Chess Tour really represents the pinnacle of chess around the world. It's the gold standard. These 3 events have established themselves as the premier, the flagship events, down to every detail, from organization and execution to spectator experience and conditions for the players. We share a passion and a commitment to make sure that professional chess is brought to everyone worldwide to the highest caliber that we can. And we're very lucky to have been inspired in this project by Garry Kasparov. He's connected our three events and the organizers from each of them. And now we have the Grand Chess Tour.
Thank you, Tony. And right now, let's go back to questions from audience here and worldwide. If anyone have questions here in the audience, please address.
Well, we do have some questions already online. We have Richard Palliser, who's the editor of Chess Magazine, and he asks, do you envision the tour being expanded to include more tournaments?
I will pass this to our organizer from London, Malcolm Pein.
Yeah, the Grand Chess Tour will certainly be open to more tournaments, those that come up to the high standards that we intend to set. We'd be delighted to have on board. We are in discussions with a fourth tournament already, but they won't be in the tour this year, and we'd be particularly welcoming of tournaments from other continents.
Your next question, also from Richard Palliser, is do you envision the tour, can you see a way that a female player like Hou Yifan will be taking part in the future edition of the tournament?
Well, I could certainly point out, of course, that a few years ago, Judith Polgar would have been an automatic selection. So, of course, in principle, of course, it's possible. We hope that a female player will come up and reach the world's top 10, top dozen, and then we'll be delighted to have that female player in the tour, of course.
Any questions from you?
Any questions from the audience?
I can continue. There are also some more online questions. Why were these three tournaments in particular, Norway Chess, Sinquefield Cup, and London Chess Classic, chosen for the tour? These in particular.
I think Tony would be
Sure.
the best one to answer.
So the Sinquefield Cup, the London Chess Classic, and Norway Chess, as I mentioned, these are tournaments that have been around for a few years now and have certainly established, both to the players and to the audience, to the spectators, what a chess event should be. It's not just about having chessboards and sets. It's not just about providing a well-lit room that's quiet. All of those things are very important. But more than that, the players are really the superstars of chess. We are so lucky to be able to spotlight and showcase their talent and to bring it to the audience in a way that is understandable, digestible, and entertaining at the same time. Live commentary online, live commentary at each of the locations. As I mentioned, every detail is considered, and these three events really represent the very best chess around the world.
Thank you, Tony.
Hello. First of all, thank you for hosting anything that makes chess such a wonderful sport to watch and to follow. And, well, I'm just wondering, how does it work exactly? What's the format? How are the points awarded? How do we determine who the winner is?
Thank you. It's Grandmaster Amir's question, and I'll pass to Malcolm Pein again.
Actually, I think I might pass that to Tony. In fact, simply gently stroke that one back over the net. If I can. Not that I'm, mathematically deficient or anything. But, he's the expert.
Sure. So we started by looking at the FIDE rating list way back in January, whenever we started determining who the players would be. And we invited the top 10 players by rating off of that list. As some players had other commitments or obligations and were not able to participate in the tour, we went further down and invited other players who in some way enhance the event. They bring something interesting to the table through their sportsmanship and professionalism and their fighting spirit. So the 9 of the 10 players, as I mentioned, will be the same across all 3 events. The 10th place is a organizer's wild card. It may or may not be the same person from event to event, but the wild card is eligible for tour points. And so after an event has ended, based upon the final standings, players will earn extra points. We call them tour points. And at the end of the cycle, after the 3rd event is completed, the top 3 players by tour points will receive extra prize money. So each of the organizers have contributed an extra $50,000 to that prize fund. And we will award out 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, $75,000, $50,000, and $25,000. And the structure, there could be ties, there could be playoffs and all of that. All of the details for that will be posted online at grandchesstour.com.
Thank you, Tony.
Another question we have is, what's the difference between this tour and the FIDE Grand Prix?
The answer is probably to Garry Kasparov.
It's better.
Yeah.
I think it's quite obvious that it's the first event since the GMA World Cup Tour in 1988-89 when you have all, I have to emphasize, all leading players, including the world champion, who participate in the circuit. And I think it's the only way to promote the game through these big tournaments when people know that everybody, including the world champion, will participate in these events. And again, hopefully that this tour will grow and will give more flexibility for the players. The problems that Tony just mentioned now, they are due to the fact that it's only 3 tournaments and everybody must play in all 3, which caused, I understand, certain problems with schedule. But if we see the growth of the circuit to 4 or 5 tournaments, it will offer players flexibility, and they will play. They will be able to miss 1 or 2 events, still having enough points for the overall count. So I'm extremely excited because we know from other professional sports that circuits are the best way to bring attention of the public that is not following all chess events.
Continuing along that, what was the initial feedback from the players? Or what has been the initial feedback from the top players, especially who are part of this tour?
I probably will pass this to Malcolm Pein.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the ones that I contacted, and I gather that's the case with my colleagues, they were all extremely keen to play and replied extremely quickly. What I would say is, with reference to the previous question about what's different between this and the FIDE Grand Prix, well, in this circuit, the players are being rewarded with prize money that befits their status as top sportsmen, which is not the case in the FIDE Grand Prix.
Continuing with the online questions, what is Garry Kasparov's role in the tour itself?
This question I will put to our organizer from Norway Chess, president of Norway Chess Federation.
Well, Garry Kasparov's role is that he is, let's say, the man who took the initiative and has been advising all 3 of us how to put this together. So he's an inspiration, you can say.
And I have received a question whether you're going to expand events beyond 2015, whether it would be 3 or more events. And maybe JJ, you elaborate more?
Malcolm touched it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we've already covered that, but yes, we're very keen to expand it. It will be expanding in 16.
And if I may just add, the real vision for this is to make it truly global. So we love the fact that we have some fantastic events in Europe and the United States, and we are hoping to expand in particular to Asia and Africa. Heck, if you can put a chess team together in Antarctica, I bet we could have an event there as well.
Given that there are only so many tournaments that you can have during the year, how will this conflict with the current chess schedule? Because there are a lot of chess tournaments that FIDE is running as well.
We've worked hard to make sure that we don't overlap with other events. Sometimes that's unavoidable, but we've certainly been in contact and communication with other organizers from around the world. Obviously, a top player's schedule is very tight. I know guys like Vasily Ivanchuk has played 200 games, 200 rated games a year or something like that. Doesn't leave a lot of downtime in between. So we understand that there will be some scheduling conflicts. And as Garry commented, it'll be nice to be able to expand the tour to the point where we have some flexibility with scheduling and players being able to choose some subset of the events in which to participate.
Malcolm Pein would like to add.
I'd add something to that, which is that, right now, FIDE's events, clash with stuff. So we've got the World Team Championship taking place at the same time as Shamkir. I mean, what the Grand Chess Tour will be doing is laying out its schedule a long time in advance. So for 2016, you're going to hear about that schedule straight after the end of the London Chess Classic and the climax of the 2015 tour. We'll be laying those dates down through, and then we'll avoid clashes in the best way that we can.
I believe someone mentioned the challenge of picking a wild card. What will the wild card be just among the top players as you go down the list, or will you pick players who may be from the country itself?
Tony?
Sure. So the wild card really is an opportunity for the organizer to spotlight their event or enhance it in some way. So I would imagine that the organizers will select wild cards who are at or near their peak strength. Obviously, some of the best chess players in the world. They'll look for players who have that fighting spirit, who have a sense of camaraderie within the chess community, who have that ability to be a true chess professional, and people who we would like to spotlight as the top players. You know, our ultimate goal from this is to create superstars out of these players. We'd like to see them mentioned in the same sentences as Barry Bonds or John McEnroe or any of the other great Pele, you know. So in doing these types of events, the organizers really have that opportunity and that flexibility to bring in a chess player who adds something unique to their event.
Maybe JJ will follow up on that because Norway Chess has a different approach.
Yeah, we organize a qualification tournament with 6 players, most of them from Scandinavia, which is fairly close by. And the winner will have their place in Norway Chess. We have done this before with a match of 2 players last year, Simen Agdestein and Jon Ludvig Hammer. And we see this as an opportunity to, let's say, increase the activity among the best players in Scandinavia.
I guess a big question here that's sort of being touched on, what is the real vision for these tournaments? Why this chess tour? What is this going to do for chess overall?
When we're talking about vision, I believe Garry Kasparov would tell better than anybody else.
As I mentioned already, so there were attempts in the past to create this kind of network of tournaments. Both Nigel and I played in this in 88, 89 tournament. Then a new one started, but it failed to pick up the steam. With such a fierce competition between different professional sports, you need something that could be put in the calendar. And we know now that with Magnus Carlsen as a young world champion, young star, that attracts television not only in his country but worldwide. So there's an opportunity to bring an attention, public attention to these tournaments, to put these great players in the spotlight, and having the circuit is the best way to make people on television, in the print media, to follow these events. If the organizers succeed in attracting events from other continents, Asia was mentioned, Africa was mentioned, and the tour becomes truly global, I could see, you know, that's a huge opportunity. Sky's the limit, because we may have something that will be on the calendar of the professional sports events, and eventually will, you know, make chess an attractive showdown.
That's a good point that can't be overstated, actually. The whole point of the circuit, or one of the biggest benefits of the circuit, is the attention it will draw to the game of chess. Much like in golf or tennis or many other sports that have this structure where it's a year-long competition, and at the end, the players who do really well across those events are generally recognized as the best in their sport. I think that will really give chess an innovative opportunity to reach new markets, including television, and hopefully be broadcast around the world.
Have any of the top players been confirmed as yet that they will be playing in these 3 competitions, or how many of them have done so already?
So far, as far as I know, confirmed 8 players, and Kramnik declined, and within a few days, the 9th player will be announced.
So the 8 players that we have confirmed thus far are current world champion Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, Vishy Anand, Alex Grishuk, Anish Giri. I don't think Siri's in there. I'm sorry, let me try again. Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, Vishy Anand, Veselin Topalov, Alex Grishuk, Anish Giri, and Levan Aronian are 8 players that we've confirmed thus far. Not a bad field. Yeah. The average rating, by the way, based upon the April rating list, is 2801 amongst those 8 players. 8 players, average rating 2801. Yeah.
And what about sponsors? Are sponsors from each individual location, or are you looking for sponsors of the entire tour in general?
Yes.
He has to vote either of those.
We will be looking for a main sponsor also for the tour, but so far we only have sponsorships for each event. But in the future we will definitely let's say, the more TV coverage we will get, the bigger value we can deliver back to the main sponsor of the whole tour.
And is the goal to raise the prize fund beyond $1 million? I mean, $1 million is not bad. It's a good start, but much bigger than that?
It will go up gradually, for sure.
Yeah, the more tournaments, the more price.
Yeah, of course, if there are more tournaments, more than 3, then the overall prize fund goes up. But as JJ pointed out, it's very important to attract public attention. The moment the idea that this circuit, brings enough publicity, I think the title sponsors will pay close attention to what we're doing, and eventually will probably pay a good dollar, top dollar to the event.
In particular, the Tour Prize Fund I see expanding pretty quickly. Since each of the organizers contribute $50,000 to the overall Tour Prize Fund, if we add just 2 more events, we've almost doubled the overall Tour Prize Fund.
If we may direct this question at Rex Sinquefield, what is your feeling about being a part of this tour, bringing this one leg to the United States?
Oh, I think it's terrific for St. Louis, and I think it's fair to say that we were sort of one of the pioneers of doing this. In this case, pioneer was a good thing. Usually, pioneers are those who get the arrows. But no, we're really honored to be part of this, and we're especially honored that people felt they had to meet the standards of the Sinquefield Cup, and that would set the standard for the entire tour, and we're all in agreement on that. That's going to guarantee that the tour is going to be an extremely high-quality event, especially with new venues coming in.
I would like to add that these 3 organizations already prove as a golden standard of the quality of professional chess. Therefore, affiliation of these 3 organizations guarantees highest quality of professional chess and the sport of chess to promote our sport even further.
Nigel, as a professional player yourself, are you hoping to play in the tour?
Too weak, I'm afraid. So that's. But I'm working on it. My rating's going up at the moment. So.
What's your opinion of such a tour being brought together?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's great to see these players all together, and it brings some cohesion to the chess world.
If we follow the examples of golf and tennis, Nigel, maybe one day you can play in the veterans circuit.
Well, I'm already, yeah.
I would say that Nigel will practice this weekend when challenging Garry again.
I've already been playing. I've already played my first veterans tournament. So. Earlier this year. Yeah.
And it can't be overstated to have the support of guys like Nigel and Garry. Professional chess players, world champions and world champion contenders, players who have really seen the pinnacle of chess around the world, to have their endorsement and their support and their vision and inspiration through this whole process certainly is inspiring as an organizer, and I think ultimately will lead to improvements across the 3 events. And hopefully more events in the future.
And I believe that it couldn't be better time for this announcement if we would not have match against 2 legends, Garry Kasparov and Nigel Short, over this weekend. And I would like to thank audience here and audience worldwide who followed this press conference. And please tune to www.grandchesstour.com for further news and information. It would be updated as soon as possible.
Also, make sure you tweet at us at Grand Chess Tour.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.